Wade is guarding Bryant. Artest looking, gets it to Bryant. Bryant dribbling, has to put it up at the buzzer. Banks it in! He banks in the three! And the Lakers win the game!
What is up, man? It's Wednesday,
Woo!
So it's 9 a.m. Y'all know what that means. It means we're live right here at Insurance Syndicate headquarters in Austin. We're still in Austin, Texas. Right?
We are still in Austin,
Austin, Texas. Hope you guys are having a fantastic Wednesday. It is the middle of the week, hump day, as they call it. I've never really understood why they call it hump day, but we'll get into that another time.
Another show.
Got another great show for you. We got a great guest for you, as always. My name's Tony Merwin. This guy on my right is the Jolly Ginger Giant himself, the Tower of Power, the man we call the King of Trucking Insurance, Mr. Joe
Let's go.
Campert.
What's
What is
going
happening?
on? Oh, man, a lot is happening, man. It's been a bumping week. Happy winning on Wednesday to everybody. Hope y'all are all having an amazing kickstart to the week. Real quick, shout out to our main sponsor of the show, Viva Virtual Solutions. Thank you for everything that you do, my Lord. And shout out to Lily Davies, who helps us run all kinds of stuff here within the group, as well as all of our other channels on social. All the editing, publication, all that good stuff. Could not do it without you, Lily. So thank you. And then again, shout out to Viva. We use them on the Clearview side and their virtual assistants and really our teammates and our partners when it comes to kind of scaling some of our agency. We're going to actually talk a little bit about that as well and navigating the market, talking about some leads. So we've got an awesome show. But you guys know, last week I didn't have it because I did it from my office. Oh, and I did it again. I pushed the wrong button. But you guys know what time it is, though. I got my buttons back. I got my freaking music. It's winning on Wednesday. You got to start dropping those weekly wins in the comments. Let's go. We want to celebrate you. We don't care how big or how small. Drop those weekly wins in the comments. Mr. Merwin, go ahead and kick us off. What you got, my man?
Man, I had a really good conversation with a guy named Joshua from Mailbox Power. Some of you guys may have heard of Mailbox Power. It's a simple direct mail solution. Integrates with Go High Level and several other platforms and allows you to really automate your direct mail. We're going to be doing some campaigns with them, but they also threw out an affiliate link with discounts that we're going to be rolling out for you guys. So we're going to add them to our preferred vendor list here pretty soon. And for any of you guys that are looking for a great direct mail solution, you will have access to Mailbox Power at a discount. And it is a super sick platform. I was playing around with it a little bit yesterday. Haven't fully gotten into it and started using it. I just got signed up yesterday with everything, got everything on board, but very easy platform to use to automate your direct mail, your gifts. Like just to give an example, one of the case uses that we're going to do, we're going to lay out a 9-month direct mail campaign based on the birth month that they turn 65. And then it will automate that through our Go High Level experience. All we got to do is set it and forget it, and it runs, and then just run the leads when they come in.
Oh, yeah. We like that.
Yes.
And another little preferred vendor here within the syndicate. We got some more stuff rolling out on that, y'all. We are just a couple weeks behind on that, just a few things, but we're excited to launch kind of a new platform for our preferred vendors here within the syndicate. Man, my weekly win. Well, I guess what's up to everybody? I see you guys all tuning in here. I see Trista on here. I see Dominique, Laura. What's up, Miss Suda? How are you? Drop those weekly wins in the comments, guys. We want to be able to celebrate you. Thank you for tuning in live. My weekly win. Some of y'all saw me posted in the group. I think that was yesterday. So classic me. It's actually kind of how I did the whole Marquise Who's Who, was just clicking on some stuff. And I'm like, maybe they call me and they call you, whatever. And same thing. So I saw an ad out there I became a lead for Brad Lee in Dropping Bombs podcast. I don't know if you guys have seen that or if you follow Brad Lee. He is the founder and CEO of Lightspeed VT. Huge hosting freaking platform. Definitely ain't cheap either, but it's one of the best out there. I know a lot of people have probably been on some courses. I know I have for years in the past that have been hosted by them, but saw an ad out there to get on to skip the waiting list and get on his podcast. His podcast, his YouTube channel. I mean, he's got 275,000 subscribers. He's a top 5 streamed podcast for business, like every single month, like in the freaking world. So it's crazy exposure. And what do you know? I get a freaking call and it's like, yo, let's get on a call. And it's one of Brad's kind of right-hand guys. And they're newer into this space of selling sponsorships, basically for getting people on the show. The show itself, again, is free. But the waiting list, if you guys read my post yesterday, dude, it was almost 2 years to get onto the freaking show. So then they got smart. Well, hey, they had a sponsor, basically a show, like a guest fall off, and they're just trying to replace that, right? And so we ended up spending, well, I'll just say whatever. We spent $10,000 on it to go fly out there, and that was actually at a discount because we're going to do some other things with them, which is going to be cool. But that is definitely my weekly win to go get on Dropping Bombs. So we're flying out to Vegas, me and my partner, Brian. You guys know Brian with Clearview. And we're actually going to go out and do the show together. So some of y'all may not even know what I'm talking about, but for those that do, like, it's crazy freaking good exposure to get on that show, to get on those channels. So we're excited and looking forward to that exposure and what it does for our organization in Clearview. So
you connected that through Marquee Who's Who?
No, so basically how I did Marquise Who is kind of the same thing where I just clicked on something and who knows, maybe I'll get a call, right?
Oh, okay.
And that's kind of how it happened with Brad's guy. Like they hit me up, hey, let's set a call. We get on a call, we get on another call. We paid it that day just to get it done. So we're going out there in May to Vegas.
Excellent.
So it'll be good, man. So without further ado, and let's see, I don't think I saw any weekly wins in there. What's up, Flip? I see you, brother. And Joey Kelly. Good to see you on here, man. And Justin Jackson, thank you guys for tuning in. Drop those wins in the comments. Even if you're catching the replay, we'll circle back and we'll celebrate with you. But without further ado, we're getting ready to bring on our special guest. It's funny. I was just thinking, I'm like, damn, like I have known this guy for a really freaking long time. Like not really thinking about it, but I'm like, dude, we go back years to our All-State days and how I met Jim. And we're going to bring him on, y'all. We're going to talk everything scaling, especially with the new agency in 2024 and into the new year of 2025. As well as lead gen and everything that Jim is doing with leads and how he's using that to scale his agency. So everybody, welcome Mr. Jim Corwin to the show. What's up, brother?
What's going on, man? How you doing? Glad to be here.
Can't complain, man. Can't complain. I don't think anybody would listen if we did, right?
Right? Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Nobody's listening anyway.
I don't think, yeah, nobody listens anyways. Well, real quick, Jim, for those who don't know you, man, you've been in the group. You're probably one of our founding members as well. Just give them a quick little 30,000 foot overview. Who is Jim Corwin, and then a weekly win for yourself?
So 2018, I started as a producer for an All-State agency. And fast forward here to 2024, where it was my first year as a scratch agency owner. It was definitely not a good market to open up a business for sure. But I think like what I tried to do was like basically just kind of like focus on what was working and what, rather than what wasn't. Because a lot of like our biggest hurdles and stuff last year was like, trying to get business written. But what I more or less focused on was, trying to create like income to get throughout the year with, a different company like Dialhub, my, my lead generation company, and work on getting all the different lead carriers as direct appointments. So, over the course of the year and everything, we end up picking up like 8 direct appointments that are fantastic and, preferred. And we have right around like 25 total between all the other commercial appointments and stuff I picked up as well.
Nice.
So we're, we're moving, man. I'm super excited to be an agency owner for the first time this year, and just passed up my year anniversary. So
woo! Let's go, baby. We made it. Right. And
Yep.
You're right. I mean, that's the thing. You said it wasn't necessarily the best market, but I'll tell you, the fact that you made it, dude, when this market starts to open up this year, and we're going to see it open up this year.
It already has, man. I read 40,000 last month. So I know that it's definitely open up. It's great.
Yep. And it's like, yeah, but man, those tough times breed the freaking tough people, dude. I love that, man. What's a weekly win for you?
Weekly win, I would say we just learned how to do our own inbound calls with Dialhub, which is super like fantastic. We've been doing research for at least the past year or so, trying to figure out how to do inbound calls versus warm transfers.
Okay.
And the inbound calls, everyone knows like the first time you try to implement something and nothing works ever right. And I think that we just put so much time and energy into it because we didn't have, money to lose and stuff like that, that we end up getting it right on the first try, I think, here, because we got 56 calls on our first day.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, that's to generate that within, for on a slow test, with the way that the software works and everything, it was a really good win for sure.
Love it, dude. Well, so let's start here. And actually, we'll come back to agency. We're already in the lead, so I just want to stay here now.
All right, man. Sounds good.
Right. He's like, we can sit here and talk this all day. I know Tony does a lot on the lead side.
Tail wagging, buddy. I love that side of things.
Yeah. So let's kind of like just start with defining the different types of leads. I think there's a lot of people in this group that have never come from the lead space, that or they've always been taught and coached that leads are shit and just work your warm market, word of mouth, BNI, networking, which are all good things too. But there is nothing wrong with the right lead, and I say the right leads for a reason.
Right.
Also fueling your agency as well, right? So let's even just break down like a data lead, the difference between a warm transfer and an inbound lead, like those types of things. Can we just start there and just kind of some basic education on leads?
Yeah, absolutely. Like a data lead is typically like it's like a web form. It's something you're going to collect on a lander, and you're going to use creatives and whatnot to push that information to that lander. That's how you create an opt-in lead. And what we do is we take that opt-in lead and we throw it into a system that fires out, different messaging and stuff. We can do SMS, we can do ringless voicemail, we can do the inbound calls like I was talking about, and also we can do the warm transfers. There's all different types of leads. Warm transfers is something where if you're calling out outbound to someone because you have this data that you collected, you either pay for someone overseas to do it for you, or which I feel is the easiest way to build your own call center. It's the least expensive, and to be completely honest, they're the most reliable. I was paying when I first got into Dialhub. Like my goal was to have a completely American company with completely American callers and whatnot, and we were paying in the beginning up to $40 an hour to have people sit in the seat, and we couldn't get them to do it. So I gave up, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to throw this to the professionals. They do a great job over there in the Philippines, and parts of Pakistan actually, that they get the job done pretty well.
Yeah,
but
very cost efficient as well. I know when we were using telemarketing, the cost when you look at it, it's like, dude, I could hire like 20 of these for the price of one.
Right? No, you literally can. Like,
yeah,
you can give them like a 20. Like I had this one time, like a couple of years ago, we were doing warm transfers and stuff, and it was right around the holidays. So like what I did is I was like, I didn't realize like how much $20 was to them over there. Mm-hmm. And I was doing like a deal, like if you reach like your quota for the day for transfers or whatever, let's say you broke a bonus of, I made it like easy for them, like 5. Just to everyone gets a Christmas bonus type of thing. I was giving out $20 bonuses to everyone that got 5 transfers, and I literally caused a riot in like a 300 seat call center. It was absolutely hilarious. So I got a call from like the next day from like the manager was like, hey, you can't do that. Like you can't offer like money to them direct and stuff, because like this is what happens. And they sent me pictures and everyone's like going nuts. It was awesome.
That is cool. Having a party in the office, they're like, "Oh, we're going out tonight, y'all. I got
my God. right. Drinks on me." Like everyone was probably no, but then like inbound calls though, they're I think they're like the newest and probably the one of the better lead sources and stuff that you could buy, because what they do is they actually it's not so much like you're calling out on the people. What you're doing is you're trying to create the best creative and the best situation for that client to call in on that want or need. So like if rather than us calling out to them, these guys are already interested in your product. They're actually making the physical adjustment to call your phone and give you guys their time. So like that's what we try to focus on. I feel like they're the most TCPA compliant and least able to be like fraudulent in the call space. And I think that that's one of the biggest things that a lot of the us as producers, we want to make sure as well. Like we're not trying to put our agencies and stuff like that at risk as well.
Yeah.
So
are you generating inbound calls now?
Correct. Yeah, we're generating inbound calls. Things like we're using Google, YouTube, Bing, stuff like that to create. Bing's actually bringing back a pretty good.
No way. I mean, Bing is still that.
I don't even know who uses Bing or what. Like, but I've never used Bing in my entire life. I can't stand Bing every time that it brings it out, like this situation it comes across. But I tell you what, they put up a pretty good inbound call.
I'm not familiar with Bing. I'll have to Google that later.
Oh, all right, guys, that's the show. We're done. Oh, God. So I guess curious because and I'll kind of just turn this over to you and Tony. Why go the route of the inbound call? And I guess you kind of hinted on it, the compliance piece, right? Versus where Tony is a heavy Facebook guy, right? Why one or the other, right? Like, why did I go this route versus I know obviously there's a lot of people having success doing the Facebook ads and stuff like that too. Maybe just break some of that down for anybody that maybe again is kind of interested or like, man, what type of lead or what should I buy? Like, what should I be looking for?
So the new style warm transfers and stuff like that you're going to be seeing out here with the ability with AI is completely different from the warm transfers you're going to receive back in the day. Because of the fact that like AI, they don't have feelings. You know what I mean? Like if you tell an AI IVR to say like, and speak in my language or my voice, hey, are you interested? Like one of the questions we have on our thing for our qualifying thing is just to be certain and stuff, like, are you guys interested in receiving this quote and stuff? That's like when we make it the first question immediately, just because it knocks out like 90% of the bullshit. Once they get through that, the second question is going to be, do you have income or do you have disability to pay for the product that you have? And then the third is just going to be a couple just short qualifying questions, but they kind of cover the general basis of what you need that lead to be. Because you don't want 16 questions. You want to get there short and to the point. So like we got it down to our IVRs in only 28 seconds, and that's to me that's pretty quick. When you use, especially when you use what's it called AI, it makes the things a lot easier. So to go into the answer the question you had about why use warm transfers or why use inbounds and stuff, I prefer warm transfers over inbounds personally as a producer, just because with the AI now you can hang up on the ones that you don't want. They're not going to be pushed over because they're trying to make a transfer quota, and that's I think that's like the biggest difference now with the warm transfers versus the inbounds. But we have the inbounds available. If that's if compliance is your fancy and you're really worried about making sure that your agency stays apart, then you can do that too. But warm transfers with us, at least, they're going to be compliant.
Right.
You got to watch where you get them. If you find some other places, they might not be that way.
The transfer quota is a really good point. I didn't ever even think of it like that, but that is so true. Where they're like, man, I'm trying to hit my numbers, right?
Yeah.
And it's like all that bullshit just funnels through, and it's like
putting up wood.
Right.
And you set up a right IVR and stuff for either you can do inbounds. We have inbounds, or we have an IVR that we run for our inbounds and our warm transfers. So instead of before with the warm transfers, it was Philippines direct to the buyer agent. Now it's Philippines to a qualifying agent to the buying agent. The qualifier is now AI, and that AI makes it easy for us to sift out a lot of the garbage.
Yeah. Just make sure I understand. So you have an AI voice that's talking to them and qualifying them?
Correct.
And if they answer all the questions appropriately, then it warm transfers to the agent?
Yeah, so like the intent and everything has already been established with the overseas and whatnot. This is just more or less making sure, like from our standpoint, that we're providing something that's actually like legitimate for people to sell or people to buy. We offer buffers and everything for them anyway. So at the end of the day, they don't want the quote, hang up before typically 90 seconds is what I provide.
Nice.
And, you don't get billed for it. So it's
90
That's all
seconds.
through Dialhub?
Yeah, dialhub.net.
Okay.
Yep.
Love that. We're gonna come back to Dialhub, but I want to go to kind of to the agency side of things.
Sure.
Because obviously hard market, right? But then I'm also, well, it's not that you weren't running Dialhub and figuring things out on that side too, right? And I know you made some pivots and some changes on that, as well as, okay, now I'm a freaking business owner and I'm running a business in a hard market, but I still got to scale. I still got to make money, right? Still got mouths to feed. Talk through 2024, right? Started my agency. I've got a lead gen company. What was the power of having the leads as a new agent? And how did that help you actually scale your agency? Versus, I think, again, a lot of agents will come in. Now, again, even though maybe you weren't buying the lead, you were still paying whatever it was to generate the lead for your agency and everything like that too, right? Because a lot of new agents, dude, they don't want to spend that money, right? Or they think, man, I'm going to blow my money on these leads and I'm not going to get anywhere. Like, what was the power of the leads? Like, why do you think that was so valuable to do as soon as you started versus, okay, now I'm established. Now I've got some money in my pocket. Let me go get some leads. What are your thoughts on that?
To be completely honest, I probably wouldn't have started the lead generation company in between the market that we did and stuff. It was strictly out of like survival, because like it's like how the leads and everything helped my agency last year wasn't too much. Where is it going to come into play in a couple of years when I can hire some producers? I think that's where the key is going to be for me, because when right now I'm trying to hire like 1099 producers and stuff like that. They can work leads all day long if they want. They'll never make a cold call if they want to work for me.
Right.
But but no, in terms of like with me, because a lot of my stuff comes from my direct with the what's it called, like through organic marketing. And so I'm working with realtors, I'm working with mortgage brokers, things like that around the community and everything. And I've been doing that for the past 8 years. So like, in terms of referrals that are already coming in, between that, it's few and far between that I can sit down and actually work a campaign of live calls. So what I do is actually I still enjoy cold calling. Like I like to still break it down to the easy, like make it easy. Don't make it so hard on yourself to try to make all these different technologies work. If you don't have that much time, you're not going to have a lot of time trying to make this technology work, because that's all it is time.
Right.
And so what I like to do in the time that if I ever do get slow, it's just break it down, cold call like back in the day, and create your own leads.
So it's so funny, dude. You're a lead gen guy. You got all this shit set up, and you're like, dude, I still love freaking outbound calling, man. It's like, I love it, man. Like, there's just something about like, when your script works and you're like, hell, you got him, baby. Let's go. And it's like, I'm back in the saddle, man. That's funny. But I love that you said that. I think the importance of having both, right? Or even just not having one source of leads, right? And we'll just keep leads broad, whether that's a paid for, whether that's organic, whether that's networking.
Because all of them work for you.
Yeah. 100%.
Like depends on like what, from what I understand, like mailing and stuff like that, mailers are fantastic to work with as well. Like I haven't ever worked with them. That's something I'd probably get into in the future. But right now we're trying to just more or less focus on, we changed up a little bit things though. So like now we offer where you can buy the data from us as well. If you want to make your own what's it called? Call center. If you want to make your own call center, we'll recruit the people and we'll manage them for you. Like you want to build your own call center. So there's a couple different things that you can do with us other than just buying the data or the leads. Yep. And if you guys flunk out and you're like, hey, I spent all this money. I'm really upset that I spent all this money. I have my own call center now. I've been using this data that is proven to work, but I'm just not getting the volume I want. You can work with us or whatever too. And we can provide the calls for you.
I like that. But let's stay with the power of having both, right? How do you go out? Let's go back to how you've been doing it for 8 years, right? And how that honestly was, that's a game changer, right? Is the time piece. A lot of people miss that, where it's like, okay, yeah, and dude, we have so many referrals and stuff coming in right now where to your point, we don't even really have the time. If we're going to be efficient with what's already coming in, we don't have the time to sit down and to your work a whole a live campaign, right? Or take the calls and everything, because we have so much. People miss it, like, well, but I've been doing this for over 10 years, right? And like when people think of Joe Camper, they probably just think of insurance, because I'm the freaking insurance guy, right? Like I'm that nerd that everybody always remembers. He's like, that's the guy that is like wanted to be in insurance in 2nd grade, right? And it's like, yep, that's me. But that's because of how long we've been working this organic, market and Facebook and social media, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Talk through some of your strategies there and how you were able to approach some of your centers of influence and how you're doing business with them.
Yeah, so like one of the things that what's nice about having lead generation side of things and working with my centers of influence is I'm able to now offer them an opportunity to provide back to them, whereas before it was just the insurance agent was basically the one that had to consistently knock on doors, consistently bring them gifts and stuff like that to stay in front of them stuff and whatnot. But now when you're able to control the leads and you have the power that every single person wants, it's like something that everyone wants to work with you now. Completely changes the game in terms of like who you can bring on with referrals.
So you're generating leads for realtors, for lenders, for anybody that basically like you work with, like you're able to now, hey, by the way, you scratch my back, I scratch yours. That's pretty dope.
Right. And it's something like, with those guys, it's a completely different field. It's, we work on CPA where, things aren't paid for unless it's closed. And it's a discounted rate versus what it would be with someone, if you just bought the leads and whatnot. They're also something I'm just gonna be completely honest. I don't specialize really well in realtors and in mortgage. I'm more on the insurance side of things. I do Medicare, I do auto insurance mainly, and then I also do final expense. That's like my 3 that I like to stick to. Those are the ones I've kind of perfected over the years. And but no, I mean, what we do with the realtors and mortgage brokers is we just hire our own cold callers to just kind of cold call on old data that works out, or just DNC penny leads basically. It works though, man. If you set them up to the right way and market them the right way, they work.
Yep. What's your value add? That's the question I wrote down on that. Why do business with Joe, Tony, or Jim versus the other guy down the street, right? The other Joe, the other insurance agent. And I think that's so important to have multiple things in your toolkit. I can't remember who normally references the toolkit and like having the extra tools in your toolkit. Was
Fournier?
Is that Pete?
Swiss Army knife?
Is it the Swiss or is it
Swiss Army knife? You're thinking of Fournier.
Greg Gerbikian maybe. But anyways, no, I think that's super important to have. And Tony, I kind of want you to pick up there on that as well, is just again like the value add of you. Like what's a value add of doing business with Avila versus again somebody else down the street?
Right off the top, experience. We've been doing it we have 25, 26 combined years of experience in this office. So that's one. It's funny because I was just going over this with our group of agents here. Like we were role playing, turning over objections and so forth, and using our value add statements that we have as part of that, right? Using just the basic agree, answer, ask model. So I was sitting there quizzing them. I'm like, what are all the value adds? Like, why should someone work with you versus whatever, right? Mm-hmm. Whatever it may be. Why should someone work with you versus, say, United Healthcare directly? Why should they work with you versus the agency down the street? Whatever.
1-800. Yeah.
We were going through all those things. So as an agent or agency, if you don't know the answers to those questions, that's a problem.
Right. I definitely agree to that. I think that, like,
people are going to ask you.
Yeah, I think one of the main reasons it like sets me apart from everyone else is I seriously look at every single person I've ever met as like the last person that could possibly put food on my table. Mm-hmm. I don't discriminate in terms of like if they're a renter or if they're a homeowner or if they're if they have a house in a flood zone or not a flood zone. I'll write anything and everything to try to help someone out, because a lot of people say like that's a terrible way to market or whatever. That's a terrible way to do that as an insurance agent. But like I'd rather get the $6 million in premium before that other person like sits there and harbors on their $2 million the rest of their life. Mm-hmm. Sell that and then reflip it. It's a different business model than other people, sure, but if you have the capability to get to that $6 million and sell that book fast, then why not?
Yeah.
But no, I mean, but also, I think because I have that mentality that like, I think everyone is someone that I could help. I'm also like relentless in terms of finding that help for them. So like if you work with me in the insurance side of things, I can guarantee you that like you're gonna get the least expensive price and stuff that you can, you need for that coverage, rather than, a lot of people like they like to say, well, we'll give them the second least expensive one, because the second least expensive one, then you have somewhere to put them if they get pissed off.
Right.
I don't give a shit. They're always gonna be pissed off when their rates go up. I mean, and at the end of the day, when one goes up, another one came down because another one, their market opened up. So it's just a balance effect, and it's just keeping the clients happy is how I see that.
I think that is definitely a different approach. For me, I think I think the reason that it's, even though I say it's different, because some people would look at that as a bad approach, I think it's a different approach, and I think it's okay because you have the experience. Tony just brought up experience. I think having that experience, regardless of you being from, coming from captive Allstate and everything like that, like still you had the insurance experience to where it's like, I'm comfortable saying yes to this stuff, right? Where, again, for maybe somebody new who just got their freaking license and then they start saying yes to, and I will say,
oh, they got a dog. Sorry, I can't write you because you have a dog. Everyone in fucking America has a dog. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, relax.
But it's like, I don't know. For me, when I first started, I remember, man, I was the yes man. Oh my gosh, if it could be insured, I'm your guy. Let me freaking do it. And I will say though, it drove me.
I've slowed down a little bit.
Yeah.
I've slowed down a little bit. I will say that. Like, I mean, I'm so like another thing that I've definitely learned from just my first year in insurance, like as an owner, because of the fact that you have to wear 10 hats, is that you have to like know when to hold them, know when to fold them. It really is a good way to look at that, because like the longer you hold on to some people that typically are just constantly in your inbox and stuff like that, that's longer, that's more time. Time is money. You're not making money in the time that you're spending with people that you've already paid you. And if it's if it's a situation where it's constant, that's a problem. That's not, you gotta know when to give them to the 1-800 line.
Why do agents struggle with that? Why do agents struggle? Because I mean, that was one of the best things ever for me. Is like, honest, I hated being like that, but like some of the stuff, it was just like, just let them go. I mean, just kind of, it was almost to like saying no. And I'm like, you know what? It's just not worth my time. And finding that, the value of your time as well, I think is important too.
I was gonna say, I think what it is like, you have to like, you don't want to look at so much, I'm letting this individual down. You have to look at it as, I'm saving the other rest of my book. Like I'm able to take the time to better better work the book of the people that don't give me problems and stuff like that. And I think that's where your value is in terms of an agency. If the people that do all right by you and get the best possible return from you.
Right.
I think agents struggle with letting people go, right? Whether it's a recruiter working with an agent maybe, or an agent working with their consumer, it's the same concept. They'll struggle with letting that person go, or saying no to that person, or allowing that person not to become their client or prospect or whatever it might be. But I think in many cases, because they haven't achieved a level of success yet in their mind that allows them to start saying no to prospects, right? Like in sales, I've always kind of had a philosophy, especially if you're in any form of
a really good way of looking at that,
that if you can learn to say no to your prospects more often than say no to you, you've made it in sales. Like once you get to that ability, we're like, nope, you are not my customer. You're not my target.
It kind of makes me comfortable hearing that, because I've been doing it a little bit recently, and I feel like I'm struggling with that little aspect of like, am I letting these people down?
Right. Well, you just said it's like literally I'm treating these people like they're the last person that's going to put food on my table. But then now it's like, as I'm growing and scaling, I got a lot of those people on my book.
Right.
It's tough.
Right. Yeah. It's definitely like a constant like balance is what it is. It's keeping that balance and stuff. Like, for example, I mentioned, I didn't know that you're actually like you're specialized in trucking insurance. That's my specialty. So I think we can work together the most in that aspect. But like I took a risk in December and ended up writing like a trucking policy for $41,000. The next month, the guy quit, and I'm like, how is that awesome? This isn't awesome. I have a $4,100 I have to pay back now in chargebacks, because like I already spent it for Christmas. You know what I mean? So like it was it's stuff like that like I definitely I think probably more with commercial than personal that I kind of hit the brakes. It was like, wait a second, this might not be the perfect time to like look into this, and kind of just go from there.
Timing, right? Which
Right.
that can be hard. That can be hard to, we'll say, prioritize in your infancy of starting an agency, right? Where it's like,
Right.
okay, gosh, I have, like, to your point earlier, I got 10 hats on right now. What should I be doing? What's the number? Maybe I should get in the trucking because of the premium. It can offset this. Well, shit, but then that means I just have bigger chargebacks. Why did I do that? Like, what do I do?
You're literally like verbalizing what I think in my head all day long.
So, I mean, well, how do you do it? How do you handle it? Like, what are tools? What are resources? What are things you're doing to help manage your day when you're wearing 10 hats?
I think just like stress management, like just trying to take the time to like, I used to be a person that never took a break. I take a break now. I try to read to calm down, or I try to do something that like gets my brain going and distracted from something else to reset it halfway through the day. That's something I've definitely done. Another thing is I've kind of like leaned on a lot of good like mentors and friends in the business and stuff of what they're doing, what struggles they went through, asking them questions like, is this normal? Stuff like that.
Am I the only one here? Like, no,
Right.
It's not me. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool. I'm normal. I get it.
You gotta learn to prioritize those hats, right? Because this is something that I've been going through in the last 3 years, growing this agency. You have to find people that can wear certain hats that you can get rid of, but then you have to learn to prioritize the hats. Like, which hat do I need to be wearing now that's going to make the most impact on my business now? And
I
which
think
hat
the
can I
three
keep
that
in
I've like
the closet for a while, and I'll come back to it later.
Right. I think the three that I like try to focus on the most is like sales, mostly service, and then like service is you only make what you keep too. So like you have to prioritize the service just as much as you do the sales, but in the same sense, you also have to find a way to delegate things as well. I think like delegation is huge in terms of finding help in your agency. Like do whatever you can to hire people. Like I've been hiring people at like cash deals. Like, hey, I have all this admin work I need done by like the end of the week and whatever. Like, do you want to work? Do you want to file all this for me or whatever? Here's X amount of cash. Like, just help me out for the week.
Yeah.
Like just anything I could find until I get to the point where the renewals are good enough that I can put someone in place to do all that. Once the process is in place, that's when the recruiting is going to start.
What CRM are you on? What are you using?
Just HubSpot.
HubSpot.
Yeah, just something free for the first years. Scratch Agent, like I said, you got a lot of different things and stuff that were coming up, but yeah, so we're just using HubSpot.
HubSpot can get pretty damn robust too, though, man. Like if you really want to build out something on, I will say that's one of the most impressive CRMs I've ever seen. But then it's like when you really start building on it, I think Chris Green, you probably know the flood insurance guru, right? His whole thing is built out on HubSpot. I think he pays like, Chris, if you're watching this, put how much you pay in the comments. He pays like over 10 grand a month or something for it though. But it like literally it drives, it's where all of his stuff lives, where like people literally, it just buys, like policies are being bought without him ever even having to freaking like really talk to these people, right? Like, I mean, it's like one, but they're already literally through his whole, it's crazy what but he's got this thing so built out. One, I can't even look at it because my brain doesn't work that way. I'm just like, dude, what if it's this, and this, and all the triggers and workflows and everything? But he pays a pretty penny for that. That's okay. HubSpot, I like that.
Chris, if you can white label that, get my inbox.
Yeah, Chris, if you're watching, well, so let's go to 6 million, huh? That's the goal.
Yeah, that's the goal. I've talked to a lot of different agencies and stuff, and from what I understand, that like after 6 million, it's not 6 million is a goal. I want to do 40 million. I want to do 50 million throughout the course of my life and everything. But like 6 million. From what I understand, you really knock out a lot of your buying power if you go past that amount, because then like a lot of people can't afford it. So you want to keep it to a point where everyone can afford it. You can make your money quick and keep rolling. Reinvest it. So
I see what you're because then you just flip it and then okay, now I'm on to the next one. That's actually I didn't think of it that way. I mean, technically, you get really big. I guess private equity would then get involved, but then even private equity doesn't look like. I mean, your Acrisures and stuff, they don't look at you if you're not cash. Like you got to have millions of revenue for them to even want to take a look. So that's
Right.
okay. That's actually a really good point. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that I'd like to just get a couple million in my pocket and stuff like that before I start doing anything like real big. But yeah, I mean that's definitely the something like Acrisure would be awesome one day. but we got to get there.
Yeah.
I was going to say that used to be a pretty standard practice in the old days of Medicare for Medicare supplements, at least guys that were really good at it, right? Because when we didn't have a lot of products, all we had was Medicare supplements. That was it. There was no drug plans. There were no Medicare Advantage plans. It was just a handful of Medicare supplement products to choose from. Really solid independent agents that was kind of the game plan. Let me go write $1 million on this product from Royal Neighbors. And then when they take a rate increase and it's really not viable for new business, I'll sell it, use that to grow my agency a little more, and then go pick up a couple more products, do it again. And a lot of really savvy guys were kind of scaled initially doing that. Now in the Medicare space, obviously everybody's trying to grow and sell to Integrity or AmeriLife for 8 or 9 figures.
Yeah.
So Tony, you recently shared something about like the CMS and everything knocking down that one. I think what is it? The ringless voicemails, or what?
If I remember correctly, because you had mentioned ringless voicemails, and I was trying to think. I'm pretty sure those are now outlawed in the senior space, if I remember correctly.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I mean there are.
I don't think we're allowed to do those anymore in the.
So ringless voicemails are completely compliant as long as the data is opt-in. As long as, and then you have to have specific speeds and stuff like that as well. Do you have to work with?
Sorry, say again.
So there's also speeds, different speeds you have to work with as well. You can't produce over a certain amount throughout the day,
right,
and whatnot. But yeah, I think that's going to be interesting just because of the fact that Amazon got a hold of it. Amazon benefits from not having ringless voicemail, or ringless voicemail outlawed. And if that's something that is the case, I don't see it being outlawed anytime soon if Amazon has a hold of it.
That's probably true. It's not something that we've used. I don't know. Maybe it is something that I should consider using more. I have the capability to do it within my platform. The only thing I don't like is that our platform only allows us to create one voicemail, and it's always going to be that one. Instead of having a bank of maybe 5 or 6, and like, well, if I'm using this campaign or I'm calling this campaign, I want that to be my ringless voicemail or whatever it might be.
Get in my inbox. I'll help you out.
Cool.
I'm just a chicken with that shit now because I am scared. I'm like, dude, we shut down the RV. I shut it down, dude. I was just like, screw it. We'll just do email but again, because we can still cold call too because we're calling on businesses, right? So it's like you scrub them, and then we're just calling out on that.
Well, so businesses. There's no TCPA, really at all. You could call them as long as you're being respectful and stuff like that. For the most part, you're not going to get tagged for anything calling out in business.
Isn't it's crazy though? Well, have you experienced this, Jim? In Dialhub days, right? Have you ever had somebody like, I remember one time, man, we had this agent who was working with another agent who was on the Medicare side. This is my guy on the PNC side. He gets all this data and then blast like 10,000 texters. This was years ago too, before any of this shit was like really like, but it was still, there were still some regulations and stuff coming out for cold texting. And he blasts that man, and this dude comes back. You should have seen that text, dude. It was like, well, because of this, and this, and the rule here, this, like, you better tell me exactly why you contacted me. Otherwise, I'm freaking coming after your ass. And I'm just like, oh, crap, man. Like, it just.
We got like litigation paperwork? Or typically it's from like ChatGPT or something like that someone sent because they're pissed off. And rather, I've never actually received anything from like an accredited attorney. No.
Yeah. I don't know. That experience like scared me. I was just like, okay, I don't know if this is a lawyer or something. So
right.
Yeah.
I was like, it's kind of funny that you like say that you're an attorney because like this paperwork doesn't look like legit. So you question it and then all of a sudden it stops. But no, I mean having the right insurance and stuff in place too, like cyber insurance, your cyber policy is going to cover that, cover you for litigation and everything. You're covered to with certain carriers. You can cover it up to $25,000 in legal fees in the event that something does happen. So I mean, having the right policies in place and stuff like that does take away a lot of that fear. But no, I mean, I think that the whole the main idea. As long as you stay like carry integrity through the work that you do, and you don't try to put your clients at risk. You don't put greed in front of everything else. You're going to end up putting out a good product, and that's what we try to do.
Yeah. So let's kind of wrap up there for the last, kind of 5 minutes here. Dialhub. I know obviously we've been talking about it, guys. Jim is obviously the owner and founder of Corwin Insurance Agency, but then also is the president and founder of Dialhub. You can find them at dialhub.net. Lily, if you could drop that link in the comments for me, please. If you could, Dialhub, right? Dialhub.net. Is that correct, Jim? Right. That's
Yes, sir. Dialhub.net. You can actually purchase the leads right there on the there from the website. I personally just built that one out. So if you if you guys find anything or I need to adjust in there, let me know. But for the most part, I like the way it looks and everything. We're gonna be adding some stuff as it goes.
Give us an elevator pitch. Put it all together. I know we've been talking about it and it's kind of spread out throughout the call, but just kind of let's sum it up. What is Dialhub? What can you do, and how are you doing it? And how are agents how are they finding success by working with you?
So with Dialhub, one thing that with lead generation compared to the typical organic markets and whatnot, you're going to be able to do 2 to 3 times the business easily every single day, all day. The reason why that I got to the position I was in is because of the fact that I worked this exact same platform, getting in as when I started as a telemarketer, moving into the sales floor, and eventually ended up becoming the top agent in the state of Pennsylvania for Allstate Insurance as a producer in 2018. So that was something I feel like was never achievable had I not worked on warm transfers that were constantly getting cracked into the phone.
Mm-hmm.
So, working with us and stuff, we can do the same thing for you. We have data and everything that we can provide to show that we beat out large competition like Smart Financial or Dialhub. They're 2 companies that put out a great product and whatnot, but those are people we can compete with for half the price.
Love it. And you're doing auto
insurance, final expense, and Medicare. Those are my 3 things that I like working with the most. We can actually push like a $123 CPA with auto insurance. Final expense right around $134, and Medicare was at $128, but anywhere from like $120 to $128.
Yeah, and are you doing all CPA deals, or does it kind of depend on the agency, the agent? How do you have?
No, I typically like to work with CPL. If you're I'm definitely going to push you to try to do CPL where we're
the buffer.
Yeah, and we give you the buffer. If you for whatever reason you flunked out after that, we'd probably offer something along the lines of CPA deal, but understand it's going to be more expensive on you because it's we have to cover our nut too.
Right. Yeah.
How are you generating the Medicare leads?
Medicare leads are just through Atlander, actually through we're not directly Dialhub, isn't CMS approved or SMID approved, but we have a partner Lander that we work with, and they do a rev share deal with us. We don't actually even have to pay for our data; they just provide it to us, and we just we pay them based off of how much we create.
Got it. All right. Got it, man. Well, I guess real quick before we close out, what's next on the horizon for Jim Corwin?
Just growing up this agency, man. Trying to focus a lot of my time on recruiting this year. That's something that I'd love to have as someone that working our phones and stuff, using the leads and everything that I've created. That's like my dream. We're building a podcast station out front right now. I bought my green screen. I bought my got some real fancy chairs and stuff to go in there, captain chairs. So a couple decanters. It's gonna be a good time. Next thing is try to get some local people in here and start having some conversations.
Yeah, love it, dude.
Man.
Love it, man.
Definitely. Thank you so much for stopping by today. We appreciate you taking some time out of your day to hang out, and it's certainly good to meet you. We obviously have known each other virtually for a while, sitting around chatting cryptocurrency on the Facebook and the webs.
Yeah,
so,
right.
It's good to get the interface with
XRP.
I'm so say again.
Say go XRP. That lawsuit's done today. Go buy.
That is correct. Hey, this is not financial advice, but you should probably go buy a bunch of XRP right now.
Don't listen to me in any way whatsoever.
You just want to get as much as you can hold in your shirt. Whatever you can stuff in there, just grab it all.
Right.
Definitely. But man, how do people reach out to you, man? Somebody wants to chat with you about Dialhub or pick your brain or maybe, you know, offload some XRP to you. How do they reach out?
Yeah, they can definitely do that. But no, I mean, you can get a hold of me either by cell phone, 412-613-7574. I give my personal cell phone number to anyone. Anyone I feel like you're in sales, your phone's always on. You got to be available. So I don't really care whether it's a cell phone or if it's my business line. You guys are always welcome to call or text me. I have, Facebook that I use probably the most. I really don't touch my my LinkedIn. I'm getting a little popular in Pakistan and the Philippines right now. So, it's few and far between that I can actually read some legitimate buyers and things like that on my my LinkedIn. I got about like 600 friend requests a day from Pakistan. So.
Hey, we want that $20 too. Come on,
right? $20.
Yeah,
absolutely. Right. Well, there you have it, man. If you're an agent out there and you're looking for some help with lead generation, reach out to our guy James Corwin. Talk to him about Dialhub. The link is in the comments. You can check it out, get a demo, whatever you need, and get some more leads in your system. Make more money. Grow that book up to 6 million. Flip it and rip it and do it again.
Let's get it, y'all. Happy winning on Wednesday. It is the peak of the week. Keep the pedal to the floor. Finish strong. And as always, we will see you guys next week at 9 a.m. Central. Thanks, y'all. Later.